Mamba out. About last night, Kobe Bryant played his final NBA game last night, and boy, did he make it memorable. Kobe scored 60 points on 50 shots. Kobe capped a career that included a league MVP, 5 championships, and 18 All-Star game appearances. Let's take a listen to Kobe after the game.
I can't believe this happened. I can't even. This is crazy to me, man. It's crazy to me. It's crazy, and I can. What? I mean, there's no way I could possibly imagine this happening. And there were a lot of points there where I started getting emotional. Okay, I'm putting on my jersey. I'm saying, okay, this is the last time we're going to put on a jersey. Dun, 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 right? You know what I mean? And then this is the last time I run out of the tunnel. Dun, dun, dun. And like when those moments happen, you catch yourself. And you start getting really emotional. And then I say, okay, you got to block that out because none of that makes a difference whatsoever. You've come out here and completely lay an egg. The reason I can stand here in front of you guys and feel extremely comfortable with my decision is because I gave my soul to this game, man. There's nothing more I could give. Overall, you're going to regret it. You're absolutely going to regret it. Well, I mean, the perfect ending would have been a championship. That's perfect ending to me. But tonight was, trying to go out, playing hard, and try to put on the show as much as I possibly could. And it felt good to be able to do that one last time.
Stephen A. Mamba Day, so special. I watched all the pregame, postgame coverage. You were hyping the crowd there in L.A. Live. That was great. But then on top of that, the cherry on top, Kobe balls out and puts up 60 points. I don't know if any of us expected that type of vintage Kobe performance. How surprised were you?
I was shocked. I mean, we sat on these airwaves yesterday. Skip was talking about a 40-point explosion. I certainly didn't believe that. My mindset was 20-25. The Lakers stink. They'll find a way to lose unless Utah had absolutely nothing to play for because Houston handled their business against Sacramento beforehand, which they did. So as a result, the likelihood of Kobe doing a little something extra and the Lakers winning definitely elevated once Utah didn't have anything to play for. Watching the first half, he missed his first 5 shots, then he got it going. I thought they were a bit lax. I didn't think that they were playing the kind of tenacious defense Quinn Snyder has had them playing all year long. But nevertheless, I just said to myself, hey, maybe they can amp it. Maybe they might choose to amp it up. Who knows? It's just so Hollywood for Kobe to go out like this. But then as the game waned and I saw them defending him and he got hot, baseline jump shots, 3-pointers, driving to the basket, getting fouled, going to the free throw line, hitting pull-up jumpers, with a slight fall away from here and there. He just got to a point where it just looked special. And then the fourth quarter arrived, outscoring the entire team 23-21. Hitting 7 of 13 shots. Last 3 minutes and 15 seconds, hitting all 5 of his shots, all 4 of his 3 throws, plus a 3-pointer. It was nothing short of sensational and surreal. I was shocked. I didn't expect to see that. I was talking to Jay-Z after the game. He said that Kobe came up to him at halftime. Jay-Z told him, I flew from Tampa just for you. I flew from Tampa just for you. And Kobe looked at him and said, I guess that means I got to get 40 for you. And Shaq came into the game or came into the arena, Skip, right around the time, right after the game, right after the tip-off had started, just a few minutes later. And he came up behind me. He told me, I'm going to challenge Kobe to drop 50 tonight. I think he could do it. He could find that kind of flow. And he walked out there at his seat courtside, and he told Kobe just that. And Kobe was like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to go for it. And, just speaking to Kobe after the game, he was relieved it's all over and what have you. He didn't expect this to happen, but it was something special on so many levels. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And, you got the 81-point performance. You got the 62-point performance in 3 quarters against Dallas. You got the 21-point performance in the 4th quarter in another game against Dallas. You got the performance in the NBA Finals when Shaq went down against Indiana in Game 5. All of those things obviously count significantly more than last night. But in terms of pure memories, I think that this may very well top the list. I don't think anybody will forget this night in the career of Kobe Bryant or in the annals of NBA lore forever. I don't think anybody will ever forget what I saw last night in person, what everybody saw.
I agree. This game for me, again, just watching it from my couch, was so moving on so out. I felt like I was going way out on the limb to say, I see Kobe scoring 40 tonight on 30 shots. One sensational last hurrah, Kobe. Wait a second. 60 on 50 shots? It was so Kobe to me to leave us with the ultimate Kobe wow game on his final night. Because I got to tell you, Stephen A., for me, last night eclipsed the 81-point game because of degree of difficulty in that. How many times have I sat here this year and told you I can't watch him anymore because he's literally on his last legs, and he was, for much of this year, a pathetic shell of himself. So to see Kobe last night take it back up to Kobe-esque levels. I mean, how about this? How about Jordan-esque levels? Because he did score, I thought it was fitting, 23 in the fourth quarter. Jordan-esque 23. I was just knocked. I couldn't sleep. I just couldn't believe it because he shot to pieces all those painful memories that I had to be stuck with all year. I told you I quit watching him because I didn't want to remember him that way, because I was forgetting. My mind was getting clouded about his greatness. And all of a sudden, he shattered he shot them to pieces, the painful memories, and left me with nothing but greatness last night because he was willing in three-point shots and long two-point jumpers, fall-away jumpers, vintage Kobe jumpers, under pressure. And I think you can attest to this, Mr. Smith. That was huge pressure on him last night. The world was there. You were there. When you're there, we know it counts. And the world was watching. Everybody wanted Kobe to shoot it every time and make it every time. And as you point out, he was scared. I mean, nervous scared. The first 5 shots, he just looked a little out. Who wouldn't be? What human wouldn't be under that kind of pressure at his age, given what he hadn't been able to do all year? You missed 5 straight shots, and then I thought the toughest shot he made was his first one. Remember that little baseline? You know how tough that little 8-foot shot is from the baseline? Shot it way up in the air and swished it straight on down the baseline. And from there, it just erupted. And I got your point. I'm with you about the Jazz. It's like harmonic convergence that they lost. I mean, they were eliminated when Houston won early. And did they play the hardest defense? Rudy Gobert didn't play, who's their big shot blocker. I got that, but I don't care today about that. I read where 9 different Utah Jazz players took Kobe for at least one possession, because I think they're all saying, I want him, because they want to tell their grandkids, I covered Kobe in his last game at Staples. And again, were they trying their rears off? No, I don't think they were. They made it look good. They got their hands up. He had a hand in his face most of these shots. He got to the rim fairly easily a few times. But still, for Kobe to leave us with the vintage memory, and again, I'm going to be objective about this, it was everything I love and don't love about Kobe last night, because it was vintage, no conscience gunning that I love about him. I wanted him to shoot it Stephen A., that was a career high 50 attempts. That was by far the most attempts in the league this year.
Fourth most in history.
No, he became the 4th player.
The fourth player.
The fourth player to attempt 50 plus. Like Wilt had several 60s, I think, but that was back in the day when it was all different. But we know he was chucking, and who cares? Who cares? We wanted to see it, and he was making more than he usually makes. So again, I want to thank Kobe Bryant for leaving me with one last vintage memory that erased everything I couldn't watch this year. Your thoughts?
I can't put it any better than that, Skip. I mean, listen, I wanted him to retire this season. I didn't want him to go through this. It was something that, having a conversation with Jeannie Buss before the game, it was something I reminded her of last night about how I wish he had retired and not played this season because of how pathetic this season has been. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with them in the future. But everybody associated with the Lakers organization were lamenting how difficult this season has been, because he's the consummate winner, the consummate professional in terms of going all out and putting forth your best effort with one purpose and one purpose only in mind, and that's to win while being great at the same time. And so I just looked at last night, thinking about how many times I've watched this guy have his shoulders wrapped, the ace bandages, bulky as they can be. Kobe wrapping both knees.
Yep.
You know, his trainer, Gary Vitti, who's been there all of these years, you were retiring with him and what have you. It was just a special moment. Great speech by Magic Johnson prior to the game to introduce Kobe Bryant. You know, Shaq coming into the arena. I knew he'd show up. There was no way on earth I thought that he was going to miss it, him being in attendance. And I had the pleasure of speaking with Jack before the game as well. He was talking about how thankful he was and how he had to be there, even though he's going to show up to the Lakers game because that's just what he does. He had to be here for a moment like this because of what Kobe has meant to this organization. He's meant so much to the Lakers. He's meant so much to the game of basketball. And when you close your career with a moment like that, you epitomize why you have been so important. It was the MJ era. This was the Kobe era because essentially Kobe proved last night why he was widely recognized as the extension of the MJ era, so to speak.
Yep,
because he had that kind of mentality, that kind of focus, that kind of dedication, that kind of heartlessness when it came to not just beating a competitor, but demoralizing them. And to remind us of that at age 37, literally on his last leg, literally on the last night of his career, to put forth a performance like that, it was nothing short of special, man. Surreal. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable to be a part of it. It's one of the greatest moments of my career to be in attendance to watch something like that.
Was it good? Glad to hear you say that. And what also meant a lot to me was that the great Jack Nicholson actually submitted to an interview during the game, and that just capped it off as special because it's like getting an audience with the Pope, man. I mean, you just don't. And he knew it was a night that he could speak about Kobe Bryant, and so he gave ESPN Lisa the interview. And I think they had to fight off the security guards, it looked like, to be able to get through the interview, but they did. So thank you, Jack Nicholson, for doing that.
And I don't know if you guys heard Kobe, but I love this right at the end when he said that his daughter was like, "Wow, Dad, I couldn't believe you had that kind of game." Like she'd never seen it because she were young. And then, you know, Kobe's joking, I used to do a lot of that. But it was cute to see that, and he was really happy that his daughters got to see him have that kind of performance as well.
And then how cool was it at the very end? I don't know where you were running around, Stephen A., but as he addressed the crowd, Kobe, and then to say Mamba out and just literally drop the mic. Literally drop the mic and walk off. Beautiful.
Yep. It's still trending on Twitter right now.
It was. It was special.